The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you.
Victorian elegance and modern luxury waltz in perfect harmony. Within Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, a flagship resort celebrating a golden era. Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is a deluxe resort located just a quick monorail stop away from Magic Kingdom Park. The resort takes guests back to 1890s era Florida, when high society dreamt of lavish summer retreats. Here, through its extravagant decor and world-class service, those dreams become reality.
Well, hello, passengers. Welcome back to the Grand Circle Tour. I am Sorcerer Beatrice, and I will be hosting you today on a Detour edition as we take a stroll through a Victorian luxury seaside-themed resort, Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, with my two favorite co-hosts, Food Fairy Kris and Ringmaster Holly. Let's start with you, Kris. How are you today, and waltz up?
I'm good. I don't really have a waltz up for today, but I was looking through the information on this resort, researching, doing my normal restaurant stuff, and I have never stayed at this resort, but it's definitely on my bucket list because it's so beautiful. I mean, I just love to go there every time I take a trip anyway, but
absolutely.
It's definitely going to be on my bucket list. So
absolutely. Well, Ringmaster Holly, how are you today? Waltz up. You've always got so many fun things happening in your world.
Right. I know. I'm doing good. So the other night I went to Star Wars night, which everyone's like, what is Holly doing at Star Wars night?
Did you get lost?
It was one of the best after hours I have been to at Disneyland.
Wow.
It was so much fun. And even though I did not know all the characters, I really did recognize a lot of them, and there were so many amazing photo ops. We didn't even get through them all. And like Villains Night, they had some great photo ops, but many of them were just cutouts, which boo, right?
Really?
These were actually characters.
Yeah, that's not good.
They did not have cutouts, and they didn't just do magic shots. So like they had the Ewoks, which like what? The Ewoks were there, and the Jawas, and I mean some really obscure characters. So it was just amazing, even though I'm not, all into that. And then they had a lightsaber meetup, which was incredible. It was
so many people had them.
It was so beautiful. And I kept thinking, like, gosh, how much is out here? Like, how much does this cost right here? It was so cool. It was so beautiful. And my camera just did not do justice because, it's nighttime. And when you change it to video, I don't know. I felt like I was in like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train with all the gems. Like it was so beautiful.
That's funny.
And the food, it was so good. Everything we tried was so delicious. They did run out of some things that we didn't get to try, but everything we tried was like almost a 10. So I would definitely go back, which is saying a lot for this non-Star Wars person.
For sure. for sure.
So much
Wow,
fun.
and
What
you took
about you,
such fun
Bea?
Instagram.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. You took such fun Instagram posts. They
Yeah,
were
so I have
awesome.
so much more stuff. I just didn't want to like put it all out there because we have the whole month of May, right? That we're celebrating and
Yeah,
celebration later. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I need to post about all the food items because Star Wars food is so interesting. It's a little like eek, right? But anyways. So.
Yeah. What's going on with you, Bea?
Well, yesterday we brought home a new kitten. So I have Baloo somewhere in my little office. He still kind of hides a lot, but
He's
he
so
has been
cute.
such fun. So yeah, he's kind of hiding around. He's very vocal at times, and then other times he's a shy little thing that just kind of wants to get where you can't find him. So,
He'll come around.
I don't know. So we'll see. He's been tons of fun for the past 24 hours.
Oh, good.
So
That's good.
That's what's going on here. But today we get to go on a girls' trip through the Grand Floridian, and what better place for us to be because
where I don't feel like we could go wild.
The relaxation zone.
Yeah.
This is more like the tea party kind of girls trip, not a,
Pinkies up, have a little high tea today, and we'll just go through this beautiful resort. It opened on June 28th, 1988. It is one of Disney's deluxe resorts and has been considered Walt Disney World's flagship resort. So the Grand Floridian was inspired by the Victorian-era beach resorts that were built along Florida's east coast during the 19th century and the early 20th century. Its exterior is modeled after the Mount Washington Resort in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, and Hotel del Coronado in Coronado, California. With the red gabled roofs and the white walls, additional design was taken from the Bellevue Biltmore Hotel in Bel Air, Florida. The resort's outer lodge buildings, Sago Cay, Sugarloaf Key, Conch Key, Boca Chica, and Big Pine Key are named for islands in the Florida Keys. So the hotel's main building features a 5-story lobby, a replica cage elevator, which is gorgeous.
Oh, yes.
Stained glass domes, Italian marble floors, and I always love to find the inlays of all the Disney characters when we walk in. So if you're coming in from the monorail or from the lobby, look on the floor very closely and you'll find some fun hidden characters in there.
Yep.
So,
fun.
when the resort opened, it was called the Grand Floridian Beach Resort, but in the fall of 1997, the name changed to the Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So this resort has 867 rooms in 6 buildings, and it's an average of around 400 square feet per room. So it is just absolutely gorgeous. And there have been a lot of famous people that have stayed there. This seems to be a big hit for a lot of the stars and things like that. I got to tour the Walt Disney Suite. There are several really gorgeous suites in there. And the Beach Boys performed there in 1988 to their music video for Kokomo. If you haven't seen that, if you saw that music video, that was done at the Grand Floridian Resort at Disney. Walt Disney World.
That's really cool history.
So
those are just such.
Did they change the name to Resort and Spa because they opened a spa this time, or okay? Because I know a lot of hotels do that. They don't, when they first open, they don't have the spa, and then later they add it. I don't know why they do that, but so I'm wondering if that's.
And the wedding pavilion that's there is so beautiful. What year was that put in?
The wedding pavilion. Oh, I want to say it was 90s. Let me see here. I think I have it somewhere in here.
Those are all the ones that you see on the Disney fairy tale weddings on that show that they did.
They use that a lot for that show. Yeah.
I can't even imagine what one of those weddings cost.
We don't want to talk about.
If you have to ask, you don't need to.
I think the celebrities that stay there. They don't worry about how much it costs to stay there.
No.
I got to tour this gorgeous like corner, like this whole corner section, and they said Oprah stayed in that room and all that. It was just unbelievable, the kind of space that they acquire. I was like just trying to figure out how much that would be.
That's the thing. Like once you're a celebrity and a millionaire, then you get everything for free, which never makes sense to me.
Right.
Like you can afford to pay for it, but
you don't.
They're like, oh, we're so happy that Oprah stayed here. We can say that forever. We'll just give her the room.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got Disney Wedding Pavilion. The chapel is located on property, and you know what? I don't have the exact year that was added, but I have in 1992 they added a 40,000 square foot convention center. So there's convention center, there's the wedding pavilion. Then they added Disney Vacation Club rooms. Although you do not have to be a Disney Vacation Club member in order to purchase those rooms. You can still rent that room, and you can have, whether it's a studio or 1, 2, or 3 bedroom villa. There are 147 Disney Vacation Club rooms, but anyone can stay in those rooms. And that was done in 2013.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gone through a few changes over the years. I do love their theming in the Disney Vacation Club villas. If you go into there, it's themed to Dumbo and Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so cool. You walk into there and there's like carousel horses, and just so you'll see the penguins. There's like a little fountain, and you see
How
the penguins.
cute. I'm gonna have to look that up. I want to see that.
Hey, I did find the date for the opening of the wedding pavilion.
Okay.
It was June of 1995.
95.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I didn't,
that's
you know what? It's hard to believe that that's been there that long. It doesn't seem like it, does it?
Well, my first trip there was in 2000. So for me, it's kind of always been there in my little head. But I have some catching up to do, because I wasn't one that got to go a lot, as a child and things like that. So things that I feel like were always there, they're like, no, that was added.
Absolutely. Well, we cannot go on with this episode without talking about something really special, or someone really special.
Absolutely.
So for those of you who have been to the Grand Floridian and before 2018, we cannot forget, and of course we have to give honors to absolutely the most adorable little man on the face of the earth. That was Richard Girth, who was the doorman at the Grand Floridian for so many years. He actually never even filled out an application. He was hired on the spot, which I think is absolutely precious, that they just laid eyes on him and said, that's it. This is your job, and you can have it for as long as you want. And he did that for 30 years, and he greeted everyone who came in to the Grand Floridian when he was working.
That's so sweet.
I feel like anyone who's met him would feel that way too. I mean, he loved greeting brides at their weddings. He came out there and cheered for us during marathons where it was stupid early in the morning. And I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I wouldn't miss all these princesses running by. He was just
so
unforgettable.
Sweet. He was
unforgettable.
So sweet. He did pass away in 2018, but I tell you what, I still think about him every time I go to that resort. Every single time I think of him. So that is a legacy that will live on probably for as long as I'm around. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. So. And there is a new gentleman that is filling the shoes, and my heart goes out to him, because I know that he adores Richard's legacy, and he hopes for that type of legacy in his future. So they truly have tried their best to have someone that would live up to his standards.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
Aww.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope he does really well. And so far it seems like he is, because I have not heard anything negative. So that's a big important step right there.
Yes, it is, because people love to voice their opinions if anything is not 100%.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Okay, though.
And while we are there are lots of activities that happen around the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Holly, have you got anything that?
Yes. So as you stated, this is definitely a deluxe resort. And as we know, deluxe resort means that the pools are extravagant and beautiful. So we always have somewhere to go chill out and just really relax. I have only visited the Grand Floridian once, and unfortunately it was only for a few hours, just popping in because I had to see it. But I knew that I had to stay here, and I automatically thought, but I think without the children, I will be staying here because it just felt very relaxing. And so obviously we have a pool with a water slide, which I know I just said I didn't want to bring the kids, but I like water slides too. So I'm totally fine using the water slide without the kids.
Right.
Next to the pool, they do have a beach area, which is very nice as well. So if you want to just put your toes in the sand. And then talking about water, in the evening, they have the electrical water pageant that you can watch as well. There's a gym if you feel inclined to go. You, like I say this every time, you won't catch me there, but I know a lot of people do like to keep up on their fitness. I think for me, walking around in the parks is plenty for me.
Yeah, those 20,000 steps a day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's an Epcot day right there.
Yep.
So just like many of the deluxe resorts, they have the movies under the stars in the evening, which is a really nice thing to do after being at the parks all day or even on your day off. So you could do that. They have basketball courts. They have boat rentals, all different types of boat rentals that you can do, which would be lots of fun. They have the campfire activities. You can roast some s'mores. And they do have the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. It is still closed, but I'm thinking it should be opening soon. I keep anticipating the one in Disneyland to reopen soon, and they keep saying soon, and you know how Disney does that. They just say soon, and the next thing you know, it's opened.
Yeah, right.
So, and of course, they have the monorail, which I think is an activity in itself.
Yes, I love it.
Now, I know that they had and you might go into this with dining, like the tea parties. You mentioned the afternoon tea, but I think that they're not doing that right now. Is that accurate?
Has not returned yet.
Not right now. No.
Okay. So
I look forward to that too.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Now, the perfect afternoon for a mother and a daughter would be to go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and have your daughter done up as a princess and then go to the tea room and have tea. I mean, I would totally love to do that if I had a little girl.
I know. Absolutely. I really wish that they would up the age of Bibbidi Bobbidi because it cuts off at 12. And I know that there are some salons, and I swear that it's at the Grand Floridian, where they can do kind of like an adult makeover, kind of, but I can't remember where exactly. But also, a fun activity is shopping, right?
Yes.
So this resort has, I believe, the most retail stores out of any resort that I could find.
Yep.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 different shops, and I know Beatrice is always there, so she can probably name all of them off.
There's a basin, which is wonderful.
That is my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, right when you walk in, you can smell.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a fun, beachy store. That's the Sandy Cove Gifts, Curator Clothers, M Mouse Mercantile. So, this resort really does have it all. Lots of activities.
And they're all really nice shops, too. All of them.
Yes.
So.
Definitely.
You know what I do a lot is we'll walk from the TTC over to Magic Kingdom on that beautiful new walkway.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I will, just pop into the Grand Floridian and have either a bite or shop into the store. You know, if it's hot or something, I'll be like, oh, let me just pop in here, have a lemonade, or, you know, walk through the shops and smell the basin just for a moment. You know, it's much better than the smell of the monorail at times.
Oh, yeah.
I must say.
Yeah, they need to pipe in some of that basin smell.
You know how much better that would be? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then they pipe smells into the parks, right?
Yeah.
Why can't they pipe smells into the monorail too?
What's really funny is I said I wouldn't take my kids back there, but they really enjoyed that resort when we stopped in there because of all those stores. They had so much fun at Basin, especially because all the cute soaps. And in fact, Addison still has one of the little turtle soaps, like the sliced ones, because Simon bought it because we went in December. So he bought it for her for Christmas. And it's still in her bathroom. Yeah.
Cute.
I was like, are you sure you don't want a Mickey Mouse one? And he was set on the turtle one, but yeah.
Well, did your kids see that wonderful play area out there by the pool? It's kind of like a Mad Hatter, and like this top hat kind of turns, and like all the fun.
That's really a neat play.
They played in the sand for a very long time. Even though we have beaches, my kids love anytime there's a beach or sand, they're like right in it. But yeah, so that's another good activity to mention.
Yeah.
That's very cute.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yep.
Lots of fun. So yeah, it's easy to just stop along the way and have fun. One of my traditions is every Christmas, my husband and I go to the Magic Kingdom and people watch. And a lot of times during that day, since it's so busy, we'll take the pathway this past year and just people are in the pools on Christmas Day, which is too cold for me. But, you know, some of these people are from northern areas and I'm sure it's warm enough for them.
It all depends on the weather situation there at the time. I mean, I've been there in December and it was, 80 degrees.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's like, you just never know down there. I've been there in January and I froze my butt off, but
and they heat the water. So as long as the air is not too cold when you get out, it's good.
That's the problem. It's not being in the pool. It's getting out.
It's the air getting out. Exactly. Well, I can't believe we've gone this far without talking about food. There are some wonderful places there, by the way. Like one of my
gosh, the list is so big.
Yes.
I mean, yes, this is a very large resort, but they have so many offerings as far as dining and bars and things. So I'm going to start out with the bars and the pool bars in particular. There's the Beaches Pool Bar and Grill. They have cocktails, classic American snacks, and it's a laid back beachy area. The Courtyard Pool Bar is a poolside bar for signature cocktails, salads, and wraps. They have the lounge at Citricos, which is connected to the restaurant. So you can kind of go from one to the other. You go have a cocktail while you're waiting for your reservation. Now the hours there are 5 to 9:30, just like the restaurant. Next we have the Enchanted Rose, and that is absolutely amazing. They have fabulous cocktails. The atmosphere is to die for, and the service that I have had in there both times that I have been has been absolutely stellar.
And the chandelier, like the rose, it's gorgeous.
It is absolutely beautiful in there. So the coasters are absolutely adorable. Because I was there the first time I was there on my birthday, and our server, he came over, and Paul said, well, it's her birthday, and I said, do you have a couple extra coasters, because we collect coasters from wherever we go. And I said, do you have a couple extra ones that are dry that we're not going to use? And he gave me like 8 of them. Oh. So I was so thrilled because it was my birthday. He goes, it's your birthday, you can have that many. I'm like, are you sure? But anyway, they have really cool cocktails in there. And just like I said, the ambiance in that place is absolutely amazing. Now we go to Gasparilla Island Grill, and they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there. They have hot breakfast, pizza, sandwiches, and it's a casual location. And because they do serve breakfast, it's open at 6 a.m. and it runs until 11 p.m. So that one has a long stretch of hours. Next, we have the Grand Floridian Cafe, which B and I have been there together.
One of my favorites. I love it.
It is really, really nice in there. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Their breakfast starts at 7:30, and that runs until 11 a.m. Lunch begins at 11:05 till 2, and then dinner starts at 5, and it runs until 9. Now, the design in there is like a Victorian manor setting, but they do serve American classics. But it feels like you're in the English countryside when you're in there. It just gives you that feel, doesn't it? It's
truly one of my favorite hidden gems of all of Walt Disney World. They have like live flowers on the table. If you go at Christmas time, they have like a miniature version of the gingerbread house that's in the lobby. The miniature. Yeah. Even with the tiny little hidden Mickeys on it.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So cute.
It's my favorite.
Yep.
And now, the are great.
There is one place that we're going to talk about, and we already kind of discussed this a little bit. It's the Garden View Tea Room. It is not back up and running yet as of time of this recording, but you do get the traditional English tea service, and I have never done it, but I know quite a few people who have, and they said it's a really, really wonderful experience.
You have done it?
I have, and some of the items that you can get, like scones, or they're a little swan shaped item. Like it's just everything is just beautiful there. I don't know how they make the swan shape, but it's edible, it's delicious, it's
wow,
so beautiful. The little china that you use, it's just such a precious experience.
I am obsessed with tea parties, so I hope it reopens.
Yes, I'm sure it will. Yeah. I don't really think that they would not reopen this place. I just I have a feeling it's coming back, just like so many other things are a little delayed, but that one is so, I guess, so up close and personal. Maybe that's why it has not reopened yet.
Yeah.
The next one on the list is 1900 Park Fair. This has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and this is a buffet style, but it's one of the best buffets on Disney property, in my humble opinion. It's a carousel-themed dining room hosted by Disney characters. Now, this one still is not open yet either. Is that correct, Bea?
Correct. Okay. I have not seen that open yet. I missed that tremendously as well, because some of the characters that go in there, we've seen like Pooh and Tigger, and I've come out, and as the characters are leaving their breakfast, like between breakfast and lunchtime, they are so fantastic that there are some little miniature chairs that are kind of near there. And as Alice and the Mad Hatter were walking by, they saw some children by the chairs, and they just plopped right down, and they're like, hi, how are you? And they just sat there and chatted with the children. And the Mad Hatter was just so fun with Alice, just sitting in the chair, and they're just, the characters are wonderful.
Yeah, and they are great to interact with in the restaurant itself.
Yep.
And some of the really cool pictures that we have of us with the Mad Hatter and Alice, they are like not to be forgotten, I'll tell you.
Absolutely. Tigger and I had a bouncing contest on the way out one time. We did. We did. And it's one that people don't think of for character meals as much. They think in the parks, they think of Chef Mickey's. This is another little secret that it's great if you're looking for a character meal that you have it booked it right at 60 days and you still want to get your child to meet the characters at a meal. It's great.
Yeah. I was so disappointed. One time I was supposed to go there for dinner. And that was when, the Cinderella and the stepsisters and the stepmother are there. And I was so bummed that I didn't get to go because this was 2013. And I was there in May. And the day that I was supposed to go there, it was an absolute monsoon.
Oh, no.
And I was staying at Art of Animation. And I had come back from the park and gone to the hotel because I was soaked. So because I was supposed to go to dinner that night. So I went back early, changed my clothes, and it had stopped raining for a little bit, but then it started again and it was horrible. And I said, there's no way I can go to dinner in this weather. I mean, from just walking from my room to the buses or whatever I was going to do transportation wise, I would have been soaked again. Yeah. So I called Disney Dining and I said, I really want to go to this, but I said, the way that the weather is here, I said, I'm going to get soaked before I ever even get to the lobby to go get my transportation. And they said, well, because I was trying to avoid getting charged the money for not showing up. Well, they took into consideration my situation. And so they refunded me. I mean, I didn't have to pay the $10, which was really nice. Yeah. But I was so bummed that I didn't get to go to that because I just really wanted to experience that myself.
Exactly. We were there one time and Brian said that he used to work there and remembered the strawberry soup. They were so wonderful when he said that he remembered liking that they brought us a card with the recipe. And we have had that here now. We had a little dinner party one time after we got that card, and so he made that, and we had, of course, our friends were Disney people, and so they're like, oh, this tastes familiar.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah, they gave us the card with the recipe. It was so nice.
Wow.
That's
okay,
cool.
So next on the list is Citricos, and it said the definition on My Disney Experience says experience a gastronomic indulgence in a whimsical setting inspired by Mary Poppins Return. So obviously that location has been refurbed because it was not like that before. But they have some crazy food. I've never been there, but I've heard people that have been there said it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, I definitely want to go there because I have seen so many reviews on this place and they say the food is like the best they've ever had. And like you said, it's interesting too. So I was blown away when I watched like some videos on the food. I'm like, okay, add that to my list.
Now that is a dinner only location with hours from 5 to 9:30.
Have you eaten there, Beatrice?
I have not eaten at Citricos.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is Narcoossee's, and that is a waterfront location serving freshly caught seafood and other things, and they have fabulous views of Seven Seas Lagoon. This is another one that was on my list that I wanted to go to, but I have not been to yet.
I heard it's fantastic as well.
And you've been there, Bea?
No, there are several places that I still need to pop into.
Okay. Now this is another dinner only location from 5 to 9:30.
And I think these last two are pretty good in price, like high prices. So
it's
pretty good.
Special occasion, kind of, not just a normal Thursday kind of.
Well, in comparison to my last ones on my list, they're probably going to be considered really inexpensive because the last ones are Victoria and Albert's.
Okay,
and they actually have 3 different classifications. They have the regular dining area, which is unbelievable on
For
its own.
steerage. For steerage class.
Yes, but they also have the Victoria room and the chef's table, which those are really, really hard to get reservations in, from what I understand.
And I have actually done this one once.
Mhm.
That
Now,
is a
which
once in a
one did you do?
lifetime.
You did the chef's table?
I did not do chef's table.
Okay.
We were in the steward class.
Okay.
But let me tell you, it was absolutely amazing. And to me, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity because I've never in my lifetime spent that amount on a meal.
Mhm.
But you know what? They give you things that you can take home and remember it. Like, there was a chocolate that came in a box that you got to keep. And then they actually created a menu for you. So we got to take our menu home with us and
Okay.
remember. I'll have to take a picture
And
of it.
that was
we
in
can send it
the
out.
regular dining area, not in the. Oh, wow.
In the regular dining, they have this menu was presented too, and
Mhm.
like our name is on there and everything. So,
Mhm.
but it was like, honest to goodness, this is a few years ago too, and it was like a $700 meal. Like it
Oh
was
my gosh.
nuts. It was
Wow.
definitely, and some people do this, every 5 years for an anniversary or things
yeah.
like that. But for us, we said, this is a once in a lifetime thing. It was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing,
Mhm.
but it's not the type of thing that we typically do. It was just on our bucket list.
Yeah.
And we
Now
say we've done it.
that regular Victoria and Albert's and
Mhm.
the Victorian room, those are 8-course
Mhm.
meals, including dessert. The chef's table is 10 courses. So you get a little bit extra even in
Mhm.
there.
Wow.
Now, there is a dress code for
Mhm.
this location.
And it's showing it's not opened. Is that correct? It's still not
I
open?
don't think that this is open back up yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah.
This is so funny because I'm just pulled it up on the Disney World website. And you know how most restaurants, it will just list like dinner menu. This is endless. It's almost
I
like
know.
2 pages of
It
first
is.
course, second course, third course,
Yeah.
7th course, dessert course. Like it's
Yep.
just crazy.
Yeah.
And when you go there, set aside hours. Honestly,
Mhm.
we were there for a few hours. The way they describe every single thing, like the beef is from Japan and it's like this
Mhm.
rarest of all the rare, and how they take
Mhm.
care, like just unbelievable. The coffee
Wow.
that they bring over to you, like if you have tea or coffee with your dessert, like they stew it right, and like they have this pot.
Mhm.
It's an experience
That sounds
above
Yeah.
most
This-
dining experiences of your life.
Yeah.
This is
Truly,
so
it
funny.
is.
I'm just cracking up because I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
so you know how normally there'll be like enhancements or add-ons when you order, say, steak, you can add on some scallops for
Mhm.
$18. Here's a first course enhancement, $295 to add on an enhancement. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is a caviar tasting, but still, it just
Yeah.
it's not a side of scallops.
No.
No.
It is not.
For $22.50.
It is not.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, this resort really has amazing dining locations, bars, and it's
Yes.
just so many compared to all the other ones. So
But it's so good from all the budgets. Like the Grand Floridian Cafe is like a normal priced
Right.
kind
Right.
of place. So then you can go to something so extraordinary
yes.
that
Mhm.
you've got tons of choices for every budget.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so that's dining. Whew.
So, do
I'm
either of you have
starving now.
anything
I
else?
know.
I know, right? Do you have anything else that we have missed in the Grand Floridian Cafe and
Yes.
Spa? We mentioned the spa a little bit, but we didn't get into so much detail.
I don't have a lot of information on the spa. I didn't even look up pricing or anything, but I love that they at least have that option.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
love it when resorts have that option. Even if you just
Mhm.
you can't get a treatment, but just go in and sometimes you can just pay to use the facilities for the day, just
Mhm.
a moment of relaxation. But
Yeah.
that's
I
another
think
thing.
as far as pricing with the spas, most of them are pretty much the same. They
Yeah,
don't have a
that's
big differential in pricing depending on the resort. They're all pretty much the same across the board, which is nice. So
Mhm.
you know that you're not going to be forking out like $100 extra just because it's at the Grand Floridian versus at Yacht Club or wherever.
Right.
So yeah.
And a spa at a nice resort, you have to expect to pay a little bit more,
Mhm.
but
Sure.
it's all.
I mean,
all
it's like on the cruise ship, it's
exactly
same thing. So
right.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Nice feature to have. So I have stayed there before. It was wonderful. The view that I had was along the water. It wasn't a theme park view, but it was still just such a lovely resort to just kind of hang out in. So it was just, I feel fancy when I go there. You know, you just want to dress up. You just feel like you want to splurge a little bit, and
absolutely.
they have definite opportunities to allow you to splurge. So you can definitely do that there. But it's
so. What about room pricing? Where do we sit as far as?
Do we want to talk about that?
I looked up something, and I was like, my teeth. If I had false teeth, they would have fallen out of my head.
It is deluxe.
It's definitely deluxe. I think it ranged from 700 to 1,700 or something like that, depending on your location and your room type and all that. I didn't even look up the suites because I was afraid to.
Yeah, it says it starts at 700, but I'm wondering, does it really? Like when are those pricing? Because it's not always hard to find. But
right, exactly.
Now, being a travel agent, is there considered an off season at Disney anymore?
September,
or low season.
I would say maybe September is lower. There are some seasons that are lower than others, but there truly is never a real slow season anymore.
No,
right.
So I would say there are some that are lower than others. You know, maybe in February, if you're not going during a holiday or a race weekend, September, that kind of thing. But then you're getting into October and there's Halloween parties and it's busy again. So it's always happening.
It's like January and February used to be like the time to go because prices were lower. But now that they have festivals like at Epcot,
Arts Festival
year-round, it's not that way anymore.
Right.
So.
Right. They've managed to fill the off seasons with like the arts festival or wine and dine or Halloween parties, or every slower season has a race or a festival or a party that people want to be here. So although it may be slower than others, it's not a slow season.
So I just quickly looked up some pricing, and it looks like a regular standard like Swedish massage 50 minutes is $175. So it is definitely pricey.
Yeah.
But if you're staying at the Grand Floridian, you're probably already splurging anyhow. So what's another $200?
Right. Kind of like what we said with the Victorian Alberts. It's like, this is a one-time thing. We're just going to go for it. Let's
Absolutely.
just do it, you know?
Right.
So, absolutely. So I think that we have pretty much covered most of the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So passengers, one final thought that my husband worked for the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa around 1993-ish, and he was taught that the word grand in Grand Floridian stands for guest requests are never denied. And so that is one thing that it seems they try to do. Even Kris, with your dining, they always do their very, very best to make sure that we are all pleased. And in that spirit, we hope that we have exceeded your expectations in our little coverage of Grand Floridian today. So thanks for taking this high tea adventure with us. And until next time, Ken, take it away.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tours Magical Ticket Holders. While you're on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tours. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tours Podcast, as well as on Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to email us, drop us a line at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. All logos, sounds, songs, and music that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are the full ownership of the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be the ownership of the Grand Circle Tour Podcast. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.
Please exit to your left by stepping away from the cars with your left foot first. Step out and stand on the moving platform, please.
Please exit by stepping away from the cars with your left foot first. Step out and stand on the moving platform, please.